How's it going today, guys? I hope you're having a fantastic day. So I'm going to be doing a follow-up video here for one I did last week talking about the top 5 highest paying jobs with little to no college. That video has really taken off and gotten a lot of good comments and feedback, and so I wanted to do a video today focusing on the best jobs out there for both high school students and teenagers. And if you're out there looking for a part-time job, you're looking to make some money while you're in high school or as a teenager, these jobs would be my recommendation. Now, before I get into this video, it is a Monday after all, and every single Monday I give away a free lifetime membership to StockRadar, my weekly stock analysis membership site. And this week's winner is Big Rob Green over on Instagram. He followed me on Instagram and left me a couple of comments that said #StockRadar. And so I've already contacted you on Instagram and you have won a lifetime membership to StockRadar. And if you guys are interested in entering that giveaway, all the details on how to enter are down in the description below. But anyways, let's jump into the video now and talk about what are the jobs you should be looking for as a teenager or as a high school student. Now, the first thing I want to ask you is, why are you actually looking for a job? Because I started working when I was 15 years old. My very first job was pushing carts at a grocery store, and then after that I worked at a clothing department store, JCPenney, for about 2 years, and I also worked for Eddie Bauer, another retail clothing store, for a while as a teenager. And then beyond that, I had an internship, but that was pretty much my history working as a teenager. And obviously before that, I had my lawn mowing business when I was 12 or 13 years old, somewhere around there. But other than that, that was my history as far as working as a teenager. And to be honest with you, I spent every single weekend working at least 5 to 6 hours at these jobs, especially working at JCPenney. And looking back now, I kind of honestly regret spending all that time working and not enjoying my childhood, because the truth is you have the rest of your life to work and make money. So unless you're in dire straits and you absolutely need to make money, I don't really recommend working at all as a teenager. I would recommend focusing on school, figuring out what you want to do with your life, maybe get some hobbies, or if you have the idea of starting a business, if you're entrepreneurial, I would always recommend focusing on something that you're doing yourself, even if it's a small business or just a project you're working on, before working a part-time job. But if you're dead set on working a job, you want to make some extra money, these are the 5 jobs I would recommend to you. So first of all, it is being a barista and working at a coffee shop. Now, this is something my sister did for about 4 or 5 years. She worked at a coffee shop near my house. And while you're likely going to make minimum wage, you will actually do pretty well with tips, especially if you're personable and you have a nice smile and you're friendly with people. So she would usually make her base hourly rate, which was minimum wage at the time, but depending on the day, she would usually do about $3 to $4 per hour in tips. And so the actual rate you're getting paid is a lot better than minimum wage because you are making money from those tips. Now, when it comes to getting a job as a high schooler or a teenager, one of the biggest things I focus on is the perks of those jobs. You can get jobs out there that have a lot of perks where you're getting a benefit completely free. And she got a huge benefit working at a coffee shop, is because they also served food. She would get a free lunch whenever she worked, and she could also take home whatever pastries or sandwiches they had left over at the end of the night. So she was getting probably $15 to $20 a day in free food on top of making her minimum wage pay and those tips she's getting from people. So the amount she was actually making from this job was quite a bit when you factor in the free perks you're getting as well, whether it's coffee or beverages or snacks, whatever it is. So I would recommend looking at a job like that where you're also going to be getting food out of it. That counts towards your pay as well, just the perks with that job. But the other reason why I recommend working at a coffee shop as a teenager is for the networking opportunities. There's tons of people going in and out of these coffee shops on a daily basis, and my sister alone had some interesting opportunities just meeting people working there. She ended up getting some side work doing babysitting, just meeting people at this coffee shop. Maybe if you're looking to start a business, or you're looking to learn more about anything in general, you're going to meet a lot of people coming in and out, and you can make some interesting connections. And just for the networking opportunities alone, I think it's well worth it to get a job at a coffee shop. And it's actually been something I've always wanted to do. I've never done it before. And if it ever gets to a point in my life where I'm bored and I don't really have a lot going on and I want to just meet some people, I'll either be spending more time at coffee shops, or maybe I'll pick up a few hours working at one just for fun as kind of a hobby. And it's kind of like being a bartender without having to worry about the drunk idiots And so that's my number one recommendation, is working as a barista. Now, number two on my list is working at a fitness center. Now, I'm not recommending this for the pay. You're probably going to make somewhere around minimum wage, but I'm recommending this job for two reasons. First of all, working at a fitness center is going to encourage having a healthy lifestyle. Typically speaking, the people who work at gyms are in pretty good shape. And so working at a gym and being exposed to those people, I think, is a benefit in and of itself. And you're also going to be around a good group of people. Typically, people who are focused on benefiting their lives in their business are also focusing on benefiting their physical health. And so you might make some interesting connections as well working at a fitness center. And then second of all, most people who work at a gym end up getting a free membership. So if you're somebody who wants to work out and you want a gym membership, rather than paying $20 or $30 a month for that, maybe you're going to work there part-time, get that free membership, also make decent money in the process, and make some interesting connections while you work there. So my second pick is working at a fitness center. Number three is one that I did in the past, and that is working at a retail clothing store. I think everyone out there should work retail, even if it's just for one holiday season, just to understand the chaos that goes on. And you'll have a much greater appreciation for these retail workers out there, primarily in these clothing stores. I can remember nights when I would be folding a table of shirts or clothes at 9:15 at night, and we'd close at 9:30, and you'd have a customer come through there and yank shirts from the bottom of your pile, and you'd have to start all over again. And just the amount of time spent folding shirts and with the upkeep and helping customers who are not satisfied with their purchases, it's really going to benefit you with your customer service skills and just your relations with people. And so that's the primary reason why I recommend working that job, is to get those people skills, as those are very valuable skills for you later on in life, knowing how to deal with people, primarily unhappy customers. And then the other reason why I recommend this job is because there may be other perks associated with this. So first of all, the job that I worked at JCPenney, there was an incentive to get people to sign up for the store credit cards. Now, you don't want to be a pushy salesman with this, and you don't want to be forcing people into these credit cards by any means, but if people are interested in signing up and getting that discount, you're going to make a couple bucks every time you do that. And so that was always my goal, was to get a good amount of those credit card signups in order to supplement my minimum wage job there. And so you can usually, make a couple extra bucks here and there each week with those credit card signups. And I know the 1 year that I worked at JCPenney, I made an extra $400 that year just from those credit card applications. And so that, again, is another way you can make money at these jobs. And then you may also have the option to get paid with some kind of commission based on the sales you're doing in that store. Sometimes if you work for like a boutique or a local clothing store, they may have some kind of commission-based payment structure where you're making more money based on the sales you're bringing in for that store. And then the other final perk I have for a clothing store, and this can actually be a problem if you're not careful, but they usually offer you a pretty decent employee discount. I know mine was 25%. It was 20 or 25, I can't remember exactly, but it was a really good discount off anything I wanted in that store. So that came in handy when it was holiday shopping time. I would be able to keep an eye out for stuff going on clearance, buy gifts on clearance, get 20% off, and make out like a bandit sometimes, being able to keep track of what was going on sale. But the other thing is, you are tempted to be buying a lot of new clothes, a lot of new gadgets, and so you have to be careful with that, because you can end up leaving a lot of your paycheck at that store if you get sucked in and you take advantage of that employee discount and spend too much money on merchandise from the store. But if you're disciplined and you just use it for your essentials and also gifts for family members, that also is a great perk to working at some kind of clothing store. Number 4 on my list is actually something my brother did for a long time. 3 or 4 seasons he did this. He was a lifeguard. Now, I'm not recommending this job for the pay. He made about $1 or $2 over minimum wage, but he really enjoyed this line of work for 2 reasons. First of all, you have a sense of authority. It's kind of cool. You're a lifeguard and you could potentially be in a position where you could save someone's lives, or even just, give people first aid. He would have a lot of kids falling and scuffing their knees, and he really enjoyed that, being able to help people and have that sense of authority and power. It's kind of an interesting thing to be a lifeguard, but also it was a great community of people. And so you can make a lot of great friends in that line of work. It's usually a very close-knit or tight-knit community. Now, you do need to get certified in order to be a lifeguard, but typically this is offered through your high school. That's how he did it. He went through the lifeguard certification classes, took his tests, And then the other final perk I have for this job is that it encourages you to stay in shape, because every 2 weeks he would have to do a swimming test and make sure he passed it, just to make sure he would be able to save someone's life or get into that water and hold his own if there was an emergency. And then fifth and finally, what I believe might be the best option depending on your situation is being a paid tutor. Now, a lot of people don't think about doing this, but if you are really good at a certain subject in school and you have fellow classmates or friends that are not doing too well, and maybe their parents want them to do better in school, well, their parents might be interested in paying someone to tutor their kid and get them to have better grades in school. And rather than going to an outside tutoring company, which is going to be a lot more expensive, they might be interested in having you help them as a paid tutor. And back when I was in college, when I was in my electrical construction classes, I was very good at that, and I had a couple of people asking me to help them out, and I never really charged people just because I really enjoyed learning and teaching people. But I had people offer me sometimes in the neighborhood of $15 or $20 to sit down with them for an hour and help them with a certain lesson or a certain project we were working on. And so you could really make anywhere from $15 to $20 an hour, maybe even more, under the table as a paid tutor if that's something you're interested in doing. Now, you're going to have to obviously find work on your own, maybe put ads out on Craigslist, but again, be very careful. Don't be going to people's houses on your own. But if you have your parents involved and maybe they're contacting their parents, you could set up paid tutoring lessons and do quite well with that. And most of that work is going to be under the table, cash in the pocket. So that's the benefit of that job as well. But anyways, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. Those are my top 5 recommendations for high school students and teenagers as far as jobs. Drop me a comment down below and let me know if you are a teenager, what job you're working, or what job you used to work as a teenager and whether or not you would recommend it. Do keep in mind all the details for that stock radar giveaway are down in the description below. But I thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. If you are interested in learning more about investing in the stock market, I've created a free course just for you. The link is in the description below. Here are a few other videos you might enjoy as well.